Holy shit, we have another Wrestle Kingdom, and it's the Yokohama show with New Japan Pro Wrestling and Pro Wrestling Noah. And this is such a big deal, especially for Noah. It's one of those times where they can get some exposure. And how better to get exposure, especially from like a Western crowd? Even though it's not geared to said crowd, it's a chance for people outside Japan who only know New Japan to experience some wrestlers from other companies. And what better company to give some spotlight on than Pro Wrestling Noah? Like with how this card is built, Noah are pretty much like geared to win. I think in most of the matches. Like just check out this card, especially if you're a Noah fan. Or if you like know both companies, if you look at the card. Okay, so let's start first with the Young Lion match. And for me, New Japan Lions are going over since Kosei Fujita is now part of the Mighty Don't Kneel. And like that looks to be a big deal, as well as Ryohei Oiwa, who as I said, or who I'm going to say, very much looks like a future ace of the company. But on the other side, we have Yasutaka Yano, who is like pretty pinnable. He's like the youngest, I think, in this group. He is Taishi Ozawa's senpai, but Taishi Ozawa is like the higher potential dude compared to like Yano, so he might take the pin or yeah, this is the hardest to call. This isn't going 20 minutes, so I'm predicting the New Japan Lions to win. As for the next match, so it's Oscar Loibe, I think that's how you say it, and Tomohiro Ishii versus Daiki Inaba and Masaki Tamiya. Okay, so for New Japan fans who are not familiar with these guys, Daiki Inaba is pretty much a mid-carder. He's very like average. He's kind of like their Yoshihashi, or what Yoshihashi was. He's alright, just nothing special. Great physique up top, but down there not very much. He's alright, but the moveset has nothing special. Unlike Masaki Tamiya, who is pretty much Ishii's equivalent in Noah, but is more of a grappler. He does more submissions. He's like a more dynamic wrestler, so I'm pretty interested in seeing him in the ring with Ishii. They're both like the compact dudes, but Kitamiya's just bigger. So yeah, interesting matchup, but no doubt, Noah are gonna win this. Ishii is with a young lion, so Loiba's probably gonna eat the pin, and it's gonna be Kitamiya's pin. Okay, so for the next match, we have Takashi Sugiura and Satoshi Kojima, the Noah Tag Team Champions, with Toru Yano and Hiroshi Tanahashi versus Gedo, Phantasmo, Kenta, and Naomichi Marufuji. And they're only pretty much just two Noah stars in this match. We have Marufuji and Sugiura, even if Kojima's a Noah champion, Kenta is like known more for Noah, but it's a pretty even split. Either team wins and then a Noah guy still gets the win. But I think since the other team have Gedo, they have no chance. And it would suck if Yano just gets the pin. I want Sugiura to get it. Or Kojima would be fine. So yeah, Naomichi Marufuji is pretty much the Tanahashi of Noah. One of the best chops in the business. Great junior style wrestler, and he can still go. As for Takashi Sugiura, he's very legit. Big tough dude who's stiff on his strikes. Very intimidating, especially with his match against Kenta and Marufuji. Dude, after being smacked by Kenta, smacks the shit out of Kenta back. As for El Desperado versus Yohei, Yohei's pretty much like a Japanese Jeff Hardy. One of his signatures is the Twist of Fate, as well as the Drop Salt. I never actually saw him win a match with like the Twist of Fate, so I wouldn't know what his like true ultimate finisher is. But yeah, he's pretty much that. He's athletic. He doesn't usually get to work the fast style in Noah since they like to take it really slow there. If paired up in the ring with someone as fast and as good as Desperado, I think Yohei can get a lot of shine. We can see him in a new light after basically being unchained from the restrictions of Noah, of like the style. But I think ultimately El Desperado is gonna win since he's higher up in the card. He wasn't pinned in Wrestle Kingdom. And then he's just like the overall better performer than Yohei as of this point, even if Yohei does look pretty cool. So for match number 3, we have just a team of people who are incredibly pinnable. We have Master Wato, who literally took the pin in Wrestle Kingdom. We have Ryusuke Taguchi, who is one of the only people who was pinned, I think, in the Rambo. And then we have Tiger Mask, who also got pinned and botched the ending to his match. So I really want Tiger Mask to take the pin, and I want Junta Miyawaki to do it. Alejandro is this, like, luchador young lion. He's booked pretty low in the card, but he's pretty much like an underdog character, pretty much. Junta Miyawaki is like a returning young lion from Excursion. He looks like their champion, and I think has like a high potential. And then as for Amaska, I thought he was a young lion back then, when he was known as How. But after like leaving for a while, he changed his style, he grew some hair, and then now he's the GHC Junior Heavyweight Champion. A couple of flyers against some non-flyers. This is going to be interesting. But overwhelmingly, the Noah side wins. It would be an insult if like anyone from Team New Japan pins anyone from the Noah team. And so for match number 4 of the main card, we have Kazuchika Okada and Togi Makabe versus Yoshiki Inamura and Kaito Kiyomiya. Alright, one team has Makabe, and yeah, he's the most pinnable guy here. Yoshiki Inamura is like a star they're building up. He doesn't take pins anymore in Noah. He used to like take some. And then Kaito Kiyomiya is like their world champion. So of course he's not going to take the pin. Okada's not going to take the pin either. They're probably going to get portrayed in like an even light. But Makabe is going to get pinned by actually anyone from the Noah side. There is no way that Togi Makabe is getting out of this unpinned. And now for the reason why we're all watching this show. And it's LIJ versus Kongoh. So Kongoh, I think, is their top faction. The champs don't really have a faction. Like Shozaki and Kiyomiya are pretty much unaffiliated. And even if they're the top faction, they like lose all the time anyway. Or at least in the big matches. Sugiura Gun is arguably like book stronger. Especially tag team wise. But yeah, before I'm gonna explain like my predictions, this is a picture of Kongoh, like all of them. So yeah, they didn't bring like some notable people with them, like Hiroki, Masakatsu Funaki, and Shuji Kondo. So first, for the people they didn't bring, we have Hiroki, who is, I think, along with Ohara, the most pinnable people in the faction. I mean, they're very good in the ring, but pretty much whipping boys. Ohara more so. Hiroki does like a lion salt and just like a dead splash, so I think he's better. But yeah, Hiroki not very high up in the hierarchy. Next is Shuji Kondo. He is their top junior heavyweight. He gets the pins, but don't ask me how he is a junior heavyweight. Just look at the guy. I mean, he's bigger than Buddy Matthews or Buddy Murphy when he was a cruiserweight, and then he was barely a cruiserweight. And you're telling me this guy manages to reach that weight limit? It's a bit unfair. Even the commentators don't know how the hell he is a junior heavyweight somehow, but that's part of the humor. That's part of like his appeal. And next is Masakatsu Funaki. This guy is like a legit shooter. He once rolled with Minoru Suzuki and the boys when they had Pancrase going on there. And in Noah, he's portrayed as even stronger than some of the top guys. Like, he's the former national champion, and my god, this guy just like choked people out to end the match. Like, the first time I saw him in a singles match was against Simon Gotch, and the finish of that was incredible. Gotch sold the shit out of like a sleeper, and he like drooled all over the place. He is capable of taking anyone out except one guy who is also a shooter, but He's not part of Kongoh, so yeah. And then now for the matches. For the people who are actually going to participate in the show, here's a nice picture of them. But yeah, first we have Tadasuke. Tadasuke is pretty much the best sports entertainer in the whole faction. That's pretty much his appeal. He's a cocky dude who does a lot of like pantomiming, a lot of playing up to the crowd as a heel, but it's like really funny. He tries his best Chris Jericho impression, and yeah, I know that sounds like a negative, but it works. It works okay. Tadasuke's my boy, and that's why I'm gonna pick him over Bushi. Bushi is incredibly pinnable, and so is Tadasuke, but if Kongoh can win a match, this is it. This is one of them. If it's a clean sweep, just never work with New Japan again, because they already fucked you over last time. But yeah, Tadasuke goes over Bushi. It's not really hard to beat Bushi, so yeah. Next is Hiromu Takahashi versus Hajime Ohara. And yes, Hajime Ohara is a lower member of Kongoh. He hits a lot of pins. Him and Tadasuke kind of look like Filipino drinking buddies. But I think he's not given a chance to shine in Noah, and he might here. You know what? If you look at Takahashi too, he like fits. He's also a Filipino drinking buddy. But yeah, I think this is one of the more underrated matches of this card. Since I don't know what to expect from Ohara, especially going up against a talent like Hiromu. This could open up a lot, this could show us more of what he can do. But there's no way he's gonna beat the junior heavyweight champion. There's no way. Zero chance of Hajime Ohara winning, so Takahashi goes over. Next is Sanada versus Manabu Soya. And this is a difficult one because I think Sanada is portrayed stronger than Soya. Soya is their enforcer. When he tagged with Nakajima, they like carried each other after losing. It was a pretty fun dynamic. The guy I think should go for more power moves because just look at him. He's a big dude. But he only wins against lower card guys. He isn't booked as dominantly as he should be. And a lot of that, I think, comes down to the shooters at the top of the card. But Sanada, although very high potential still, can lose, just to make the series more interesting. And then as for the next match, the most anticipated match according to social media, we have Shingo Takagi versus Katsuhiko Nakajima. So yeah, Katsuhiko Nakajima. Too Many is Noah's number 2. To me, he's like about number 3 or 4, while he's Kongoh's number 2. He's very fun to watch, great wrestler, better striker. He's capable of like carrying a match by himself. He's like a Tanahashi and Okada level that he can have a great match against anyone. Maybe more Nakamura. His finisher is a vertical spike. It's pretty much a brain buster. And yeah, I forgot to mention the finishers of each, but for Tadasuke and Ohara, I didn't notice their finishers. And they don't usually get the pins. But as for Soya, it's a burning lariat. His character is pretty much a hothead, very erratic, has a kick-ass theme song, and earlier this year, he accidentally, or who knows, he did no-sell endo strikes. Nakajima knocked the shit out of the DDT champion for real, and this pissed off Noah legend Jun Akiyama. It ruined a match at Cyber Fight Festival, and it like pissed me off so much. But for my prediction here, I think Shingo goes over. He's gonna face Okada, and he has to look strong. There is no way that Shingo loses this match, unless you want to have Katsuhiko Nakajima face Okada instead. And so for the main event, we have Tetsuya Naito versus Kenoh. The two leaders of the factions. We have New Japan's number 3 now, or number 4. His stock has really dropped, and he's gonna feud with Shota Umino. Oh, how Naito has fallen. But I had some good times watching the dude. Watched him lose to Okada the first time, and then finally like win the title at Wrestle Kingdom 14. But he's going up against Noah's number 2 in my opinion, and I think the best Japanese wrestler today, just because of how versatile this guy is. Like, just get Wrestle Universe and then watch Cyber Fight Festival. watch his hardcore match against Daisuke Sasaki. We never see hardcore matches in Noah, but it's like he like fit right in and delivered a banger. He also brought Satoshi Kojima to an epic match when Kojima dropped the title to him. And of course, we have his match against Kaito Kiyomiya, both of them. Second one was not very good, but the one recently and then the one last year, so like they're both in the New Year shows, those are like the best. Actually, as well as their tag team matches, like him and Nakajima going up against Takashi Sugiura and Hideki Suzuki, or the one when they went against Satoshi Kojima and Takashi Sugiura. Really good. He also has a haircut that only he can rock. And yeah, plus points. He just gets it. So for this one, I'm going with Keno, even though it's highly unlikely that New Japan are gonna let Naito lose against just like to anyone. But hopefully Keno goes over. Come on. I do like my special intros and my Noah reviews for this dude. So yeah, for fuck's sake, have Keno win. It'll strengthen your relationship with Noah. It'll strengthen Japanese wrestling as a whole. If New Japan just have like Kongoh go over. Just this once. You embarrassed them last year. Just like have them win this year. So next year you can set up another feud. Please? So yeah, stay tuned for my Noah the New Year review. I think it's out right now. Yeah, it is out right now. I uploaded it before this. And also my Wrestle Kingdom review that I don't know how to present because of copyright. Maybe it's just like a black screen, just like a logo of Wrestle Universe, or I'm gonna try to get creative. As for New Year's Dash, I don't know if I'm gonna cover it. I don't know like the storylines going on. I just watched Wrestle Kingdom. Just watch Rant and Reviews, Post Wrestling, or Sonal's Life, or Karen Watches Wrestling, whatever, for coverage of New Year's Dash. And then for the Dynamite review, it might come in late. Just a lot of shows going on, as well as like real life. So yeah, like, comment, and subscribe. I hope you learned a lot from this about Kongoh and Noah. Bye-bye.